Everyone thinks the US men's national team is America's team. Public. Yours, mine. Wrong. Somebody owns this thing. Somebody collects every dollar that comes off Christian Pulisic's jersey, off every ticket at MetLife Stadium this summer, off every commercial you're about to sit through during the World Cup. And it's not who you think. So let's do the math nobody wants to show you. What does it actually cost, can actually pay, to own Team USA at a World Cup on home soil? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much money runs through this team in a single World Cup summer, who really takes the cut before a single player sees a dollar, and why the owner of Team USA can make more from losing in the round of 16 than winning it outright, if the numbers line up right, because this isn't really about soccer. It's about who gets paid when 300 million Americans watch one flag. Here's the part that surprises people first. Nobody can actually buy the US men's national team. Not you, not a billionaire, not Fox, not Adidas. It's not a franchise. It's not the Cowboys. It sits inside the US Soccer Federation, technically a non-profit. So if nobody owns it, why does this team generate more revenue this year than most NFL franchises made a decade ago? Because the moment you strip away the word national team and look at the contracts underneath, you find something that looks a lot less like patriotism and a lot more like a hedge fund wearing a jersey. And that's where the real owners live. Start with the jersey. That's simple. Nike pays US Soccer roughly $30 million a year just for the right to put that crest on a shirt. Not the players, not the coaches, the federation. And that shirt retails for $150. Cost to make it, under $10. But that's the smallest number in the room. Now, look up. Fox and Telemundo paid a combined package worth over $600 million just to broadcast World Cup games in English and Spanish across this cycle. Not because they love soccer, because Univision-style ad slots during a USA match now sell for close to what a Super Bowl commercial cost 15 years ago. And here's the part that should bother you. This summer, the US isn't even flying anywhere. It's hosting, which means every logistics cost other countries eat, hotels, travel, stadium rental, gets flipped into pure profit for whoever's collecting on the US side of the ledger. So who's collecting? US Soccer takes a cut of every ticket. FIFA takes a cut of every US soccer contract. Nike, takes brand value that compounds for years after the final whistle. And somewhere in a boardroom, an executive is watching Pulisic's jersey sales the way a trader watches a stock ticker. But none of that is even the strange part. The strange part is what happens if the team loses early, because a first-round exit for the USA at a home World Cup could, in a twisted way, cost the Federation less than a deep playoff run. If you don't manage the numbers right, stick with that thought. We're coming back to it. So who actually wins financially, no matter what happens on the field? Soccer wins, White. The Federation banks broadcast and sponsorship money that was locked in years before a single ball was kicked. FIFA wins. They take their cut off the top of almost every dollar this tournament generates. Then move the circus to the next host in 4 years. Nike wins because brand equity from a home World Cup doesn't expire when the final whistle blows. It compounds into jersey sales for a decade. And Fox wins because the ad slots are already sold, win or lose. The one group whose financial outcome actually depends on the scoreline? The players. Bonuses, appearance fees, next contract's value. That's the only part of this multi-billion-dollar machine that's genuinely tied to 90 minutes on a field. Everyone else priced in the outcome before kickoff. That's the real story behind America's team. It was never really about who wins the World Cup. It's about who wrote the contract before the tournament even started. Because in this business, just like with an oil rig sitting idle in the ocean, the asset was never the game itself. It was the paper signed months before anyone stepped on the field. So next time you watch the US team walk out under those lights, remember, you're not just watching a match. You're watching a balance sheet with a scoreboard attached.